Hello, this is B4R, and this is another episode of Mysteries of Geometry, where I compare bikes based to the announced wheelbase very accurately with this system here, where I get exactly the wheelbase size. Of course, the wheelbase on the pictures is not always right, and the pictures are not really realistic sometimes, especially when they are renders. So this episode I have the new Transalp and the CB500. Let me zoom out so we can see some differences. First off, the both Hondas. The Transalp looks like a bigger bike. I want to say that the rim, when I compare this bike to others, is slightly bigger than I think it should be, and the front one the same. So let's continue after that. Let's look at the foot pegs first. Where are they? Here is the foot peg of the Transalp. And here's the foot peg of the CB. The CB, I think because it shares the same frame with the CB500, the street version, has the steppers kind of behind. It gives you a sporty feeling when you're sitting on it. As you can see here, from here to here, there's a big difference. So the Transalp has a much more normal off-road bike positioning for the foot pegs further front. Now, the handlebars seem to be further away from the sitting position than on the CB. But they are on a similar height, maybe a bit higher on the Transalp. Now let's look at the front brakes, the sizing, if we can see anything interesting. Again, we see the suspension travel is not very long on the Transalp. It's longer of the CB, of course. I think it's around 14 centimeters on the CB. But again, it's on the Transalp, it's much less than other bikes of its category. The brakes, the brake discs are much larger than on the CB500. Windscreen, if we consider the height of the seat, seems to be very similar, the height of the windscreen. Passenger seat seems slightly better on the Transalp. The exhaust systems are very similar. Don't forget, this is 2118 on the Transalp, the wheels, and on the CB it's 1917. And now let's go to bikes that have positioned them to touch the ground at the same place, not the wheelbase at the same position like before. So here is the Transalp on the floor, on the ground, and here is the CB on the ground. Let's see the difference now, if there's any. Now we can see the CB is closer to the ground, the sitting position, but not by much. Ground clearance. It's very similar, maybe a couple of centimeters on the Transalp. The wheelbase on the CB is 1445 millimeters, and on the Transalp is 1560 millimeters. So 10 centimeters, 11 larger, the Transalp. I remember sitting on the Africa Twin. I don't have it for this video available, but I will make one Transalp with Africa Twin. And Africa Twin is really good for tall riders. It's a big bike. CB, you look small on the CB, although it's not so small, but it still looks small if you're a tall rider. So the Transalp is somewhere in between, but it's not that much bigger than the CB. Anyway, not much more to say. I think the CB looks better as a design. It's more pretty, as we can say that, than the Transalp. The Transalp looks a bit old-fashioned, but that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching, bye!